Nancy Meyers' The Holiday, starring Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, and Jack Black, is about two women troubled with guy problems swap homes in each other's countries where they each meet a local guy and fall in love. But you probably already knew that because this movie came out 12 years ago, but I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, so I'm going to talk about it now. Thanks, John Mulaney. Also, how the heck did they get Hans Zimmer to write the score for this film? Did he lose a bet, or was it on a dare or something? Even 12 years ago, this made no sense to me, but whatever. But I'm not complaining. Hans Zimmer is my German hero. And just the power of music can show that when a score is done right, it can almost trick you to believe you might even enjoy a movie more than you think you are. As I was watching it, I was noticing the music more than I was necessarily noticing the dialogue or the characters, the cinematography. And that is something that I think is so helpful. I don't think it ever has once hurt a movie to have music that was substantially better than the rest. It can really just save anything or make anything exponentially better than it could have been. You know, if you ever have time, I definitely recommend watching a movie, you know, while you're driving, obviously looking on the road, just having it through the speakers in your car, or just laying down in your bed, closing your eyes, watching a movie with only your ears. To be able to recognize the sound design and what the characters are feeling through more than just the words that they're describing is, I think, a way that you can feel what they're feeling, and you can hear what they're hearing, and you can see what they're seeing in a way that you couldn't have just by watching the movie naturally. The way everyone speaks in this movie feels different than most. The dialogue throughout most of it just sounds and feels natural. Not over the top romantic and perfect and ridiculous and dramatic. It sounds like these people are actual humans. What a concept, right? To write lines you could quote because you already speak this way, you know? Thank you for not forcing me to roll my eyes or write down whenever something is witty or funny or charming, you know, is spoken by any of the characters. I don't need to be transported to another dimension or universe to feel a sense of escape from my own world. Having two characters feel lost and want to escape by flying to another country to sleep in a different bed is fantastical enough for me. And speaking of characters, I've decided, because there's 4 major characters in this movie, that I want to break down each one of them individually and discuss what they did for me or what I saw in them. So starting with Miles, Jack Black's character seemed very underdeveloped. He basically has 3 personalities, which are his eyebrows, his weird voice, and his singing, and most of the time it just gets kind of annoying. I feel like I've seen this so many times before in basically every movie that to see Jack Black just means to see goofy, ridiculous, blah blah blah, whatever. Also, what the heck was he doing asking out Iris for New Year's Eve during Arthur's speech? Like, what a selfish bee. Can you just wait like 10 seconds? This is what they've been building up. You just wrote the music for him. He's been talking for like literally 1 minute after he just didn't need his cane anymore and like ran up the stairs. I don't know. I feel like that was pretty selfish, if you ask me. And you also just broke up with your girlfriend who cheated on you and tried to get back together with you like 20 minutes ago. I'm not saying that everyone should take forever, but like slow down just a little bit. And now for Iris. She is so sad and beaten down and quite honestly pathetic. But she writes a very scary yet brave email to Jasper on the plane, and that's a huge first step for her. Not all journeys are a straight line, and hers definitely is not one of steady progress. Wouldn't you be mad at Jasper for stalking you all the way to another country, and wouldn't your first question be, where is your fiance? Have some decency and self-respect, jeez. Yet, in that moment, she learns that she has been blind for the last 3 years, romanticizing about something that wasn't even real for a moment. She sadly was nothing more than a side hoe to Jasper, and when she realizes that, she stands up for herself, which ironically is an attractive quality. I didn't really buy her and Miles as a thing because, what? He helped her with her eyelashes and then had dinner with her and 3 old men? No offense, but the hardest thing to believe about this movie is that people in Los Angeles, California are that nice and have that much free time. I don't know, that seems rather absurd. Next is Amanda, and can I just say that Cameron Diaz seems to have my number in the sense that I've always thought she was really funny and really charming, and just whatever she does on camera, even if it seems ridiculous, like singing Mr. Brightside loudly and poorly means to put on a British accent, is a way for that to come across well. Seemingly doesn't even sound weird or bad. It's just a little awkward, but also cute. I don't know. This is a little bit of a biased opinion. Anyway, Cameron Diaz / Amanda is a strong, independent woman who works hard for what she has. And that isn't a bad thing, and it isn't her downfall. She's just broken like the rest of us in her own unique way that maybe someone one day will be able to understand more than she can see herself. Not being able to see a result of your feelings is something not many movies touch on, because it's complicated and confusing, and they don't answer or solve it, they just let me watch. Show, don't tell, you know? Show me her crying, finally. Show me her deciding to run back to the cottage, because that doesn't make any sense to ask the driver to stop driving so you can run, but it's what she feels that she has to do, you know? Show me her stopping to catch her breath for a second, because that's what a normal person would do if you had to run that far in the snow in high heels. Show me her slowing down when opening the gate, because she knows walking through that gate is more than chasing her desires, but facing her fears and overcoming doubts that she has with trust. You know, show me that. Also, on a completely different note though, what was that thing with her esophageal spasm that she was having during the first act of the movie? Was that nothing? You know, were we supposed to forget about that? I thought it was like foreshadowing, but maybe it was pure brilliance that never comes into play ever again. Weird. And now to my actual favorite, Graham. Graham is me and what I want to be. Thank you for making him a widower instead of a horn dog who finds another hoe to sleep with when she doesn't spend a singular day with him. Thank you for showing me that he is messed up and sleeps with a woman after meeting her 2 minutes ago like a dumbass, excuse me, but then makes a point to treat her kindly and respectfully in the future as he does. You know, thank you for letting him share openly and honestly that he cries and that's who he is. And thank you for showing me his tears when his surprise is before him, asking him to be his New Year's date, and when he says that he's with his girls, she says that sounds perfect. Her acceptance of him and his life is loving kindness that should not be overlooked or taken for granted, and his tears to me signified that understanding. Ugh, what a guy. I just wanted to say how a Christmas movie can be more than cookies and eggnog and presents and lights and snowmen and shopping, and some of us, well, a lot of us, have very different lives from our families and want to know that we are more than okay because our story doesn't yet reflect another's. Everyone feels some sort of pressure to be happy when they are convinced that everyone else around them is happy and content and at peace. Some of us choose to ignore that feeling while others try to run away and hide from that feeling, but I don't want to run away anymore. I really wanted not to like this movie. Truly, I promise you, I did. You know, I didn't believe that I would have enjoyed it as much as I did, but I guess Santa came early this year because I agree with Doug when he said this is his favorite Christmas movie. So if you haven't seen this movie before, I would say please go check it out, especially if you've already seen The Grinch like 100 times and Elf 10 billion times. You can actually watch this movie with your parents, unlike Love Actually, and I don't know, it just feels different. It's just nice. It's just enjoyable. But I don't know. That's just how I feel. Merry Christmas, everybody.